Hi, this is Brenda and Elaine.
Welcome to our After the Show episode, where we go deeper into what we learned from our conversations with guests. Wow, amazing talking to Barbara Collins, a woman who could walk into the hospital knowing that she's having a stroke and tell everybody, and everybody respond immediately. I mean, that's just like mind blowing to me.
I was thinking, I was like, her whole story, she got such great care. And I'm like, is it because she's in Philadelphia and they have really good care in Philadelphia? Or is it because she's such a great advocate for herself or luck, But it was a great and positive story of someone who got good care from multiple doctors and really
Yes.
saved her
Yeah.
life.
I mean, I think we asked this, but I still don't understand, like, how did she know she was having a stroke?
Well, she said it was God and her gut or something like
Okay,
that,
right,
like
yeah, yeah, and that would be the only way. Yes.
your voice changing is not a clue to me that you're having a stroke.
Right, so what a blessing that she was able to recognize, get to the hospital, and get that care. Because obviously she looks and sounds wonderful now, you know? I think part of it for her is that she had had numerous medical problems earlier in her life, and she was experienced at navigating doctors and hospitals, so I'm sure that helped her.
And she's bold because I remember she talked about asking for an appointment with her cardiologist with her clothes on, right? And
Right,
I thought about that. I was like, that's right. If you're in a paper gown and the doctor is in their full clothes and white coat and everything, already that creates an imbalance.
right.
And so if you're wanting to have a human to human conversation, how bold of her to say, "Oh, no, I want an appointment with my clothes on."
No, that's true. I mean, you're just not as confident, you're worried about what's falling out, and you're not thinking about all the questions, the rational questions that you might have about your condition.
Exactly.
My primary care doctor actually sees me fully dressed, like when I'm having a physical, not in her office, still in the exam room, but I would go in there, we would talk, and then she would leave and say, "Okay," and then do the exam. So that is good. Now I know a lot of doctors I've been to don't do that.
Yeah, because 'cause they're on that timer, but I used to have a primary care doctor who she would do the reverse. You'd be in her room and do the exam, and then you'd get dressed and come to her office. So you leave the exam room, go to her office, and she would talk with you 20, 30 minutes. She's retired, so that model is probably not sustainable,
Yeah,
but I'm glad that Barbara got the good care because it seems like she's fully recovered from that stroke. I mean, I
yeah,
know there's lingering things she has to deal with, managing her speech and stuff.
but she's recovered from 2 hip replacements and 2,
Cancer.
yeah, breast cancers. But the one thing that you do not recover from is losing a child, um,
Yes.
and the stress of that, I know she feels contributed to her stroke, and of course,
Yes.
that stress can raise your blood pressure, and that's what wasn't in control.
I'm actually impressed with I don't know what the statistic is, but a lot of couples don't survive the death of a child, and when I think back to mom and dad, it seems like they navigate this sounds terrible, but they navigated it so well. If anything, it brought them closer together.
But I also feel like we as young children don't really know. I mean, I think in the
Right.
end, yes, over the years,
Yeah,
but
that's
we don't really know what struggles went on.
yeah, but they didn't get a divorce, right?
Right.
Like, they stayed together, they raised their remaining 2 children.
And, we're
Yeah.
happy together. Yes, just, I pay for Barbara every day in that one because I just don't know how you navigate that. But maintaining your blood pressure, though, you have to do that. We all have stress in our lives.
Even
Right.
when you're grieving.
And actually, that's something I'm struggling with now is trying to figure out how to recognize the stress, but also manage it so that it doesn't affect, your body and what's going on there. A lot of people meditate. I'm upping my yoga practice,
Mm.
trying to make sure that I take time to do things that center me.
And do you see an impact on your blood pressure when you do those things regularly?
I'm still not sure. It's
Yeah.
up and down, but one thing, one night I did notice, and part of my struggle now is sleep.
Mhm.
One night I said, "Okay, I just have to sleep," so I took a Tylenol PM, and I slept so well. When I took my blood pressure in the morning, it was
Good.
perfect. Yeah.
Yeah, sleep is
So
magic. I'm telling you, they talk about sleep being medicine.
yeah, I'm thinking maybe I need to figure out, how to sleep better.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. I do not sleep through the night. I need to fix that because my
Yeah.
blood pressure is borderline too. So getting it in control, salt, exercise, medicine if you need it.
Get whatever help it is you need to get them better because that is definitely a major risk factor for strokes.
And that's one of the takeaways from Barbara because, as I recall, before her stroke, she had been trying different medicines to manage her blood pressure. And it wasn't until after the stroke that she had a doctor that recommended a particular medicine that really works for her. And so, one of my takeaways is, if you're trying a medicine and your blood pressure is not under control, don't be afraid to go back to the doctor and say, what else can we try? Is there something else that might work better for me? Because everybody's body is different.
Right. I know there's a lot of different medications out there right now, and it does take a little trial and error to figure out which one works best for you.
And then to be consistent with it, right?
Right.
It's interesting to me that she is a coach for women in midlife, right? And she helps them figure out how to thrive in midlife. And I can see that in our conversation with her because she's very good at communicating and articulating her needs. And I can see how we all need to be able to do that better.
Yeah. It would be fun to be in her community of women who are, learning from her how to better their lives.
Yeah. That's what we want, right? We want to
Right.
thrive in midlife. Have to go read her book.
Well, she was a very good model for self-advocacy, and, I'm gonna take some of the advice that she gave and try to do a better job for myself.
Good. Me too. Let us know what you learned from this guest.
If you want to support Body Wealth, please subscribe on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or YouTube. We'd also love it if you give us a 5-star rating and write a review letting us know what you love about the show.
The Body Wealth podcast shares personal stories to inspire you. It does not constitute medical advice. For that, we encourage you to work with a trusted healthcare provider.